Right. I am diving in a little bit deeper, rabbit hole on how to improve your metabolism. As we age, we get told that our metabolism is going to slow down. What we don't hear enough about is that you have a choice. How do you want to age is firstly up to you. So, if you want to speed up your metabolism, you need to look at what are you doing now and what do we need to do a little differently. Insanity is doing the same approach, the same program, the same method over and over again, expecting different results, right? So, if you're doing the same program that gave you results 10, 20 years ago, might not be doing the same thing to you anymore. We age, men and women, men too, your hormones get lower, testosterone's lower. We need to look at what needs to be lifted up, improved, and how do we restore the body back to homeostasis, balance. We need to change how we fuel, train, and perform each day in life now to be our best current self, to live our best life as we get to the other side of age 50. Our second half of our life should be even better than the first half, right? We're at the age that we're almost maybe retiring. You're going to travel, you're going to just go have fun and play and exercise, be active, living life to the fullest each day. But how are you visualizing how you're going to be moving and looking and thriving every day without struggling? It's creating our optimal self in the future now. So even in your 40s, hit 50, we need to be doing everything we can to be the best version of ourselves when we're 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. Don't wait until you're broken. Old method is wait until you have problems, go get treatment. We want to look at being a health optimizer. And even if you're not feeling fatigue, you're not struggling with weight gain, you should get on top of it now. Prevent what could happen if you don't start making adjustments now. Now, I'm an FDN practitioner, nutritional therapy practitioner, holistic lifestyle coach, personal trainer for 30 years, triathlon run coach, endurance athlete, metabolism expert. I do Pinoy metabolic testing. I used to do new leaf testing back in 2005. So I've been in this space a long time. You don't have to be an athlete to do any of this, but you can make simple changes. But how to personalize what you really should do, ideally, we run a health investigation. Let's do a nutritional therapy assessment as a nutritional therapy practitioner. As an FDN practitioner, I became a practitioner, FDN, because I wanted to get more insight of what was going on under the hood that we don't have any clue about unless we run functional lab testing. So as FDN practitioners, we have access through our medical director program, and we have medical director consults to get functional lab testing, looking at 3 to 5 labs at once to put the missing pieces of your puzzle together so you are thriving as you age. You don't need to have problems. We just need to learn where are your healing opportunities that you might even not know about because you're feeling fine, but you're not thinking this, I could even be better. I might feel fine, I'm good, I'm normal, but are you optimal? Are you feeling your best? You don't know, but you don't know. You might just be settling for feeling kind of crappy. So you don't know that you have a choice. So we want to look at the labs, we want to look at nutritional therapy, and then exercise. How should you train? How should you fuel for that workout? How should you work on improving recovery from the workout is really important. Doesn't have to, you don't have to be an athlete. That has nothing to do with what I do. It is what I like to be doing as an endurance athlete, but my clients are usually not coming to me that are competing. Sometimes people are competing, they're doing events, they're doing ultra endurance, adventure racing, but there's others that just, I want to feel my best. I want to lose weight. So today I wanted to talk about anabolic resistance. Why does our metabolism slow down as we age? I've talked about this a few times, and let me share my screen to do a video vlog. You can read more on chronic inflammation and gut health. I went over the other day, but just what the holistic method is. We work on nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, movement throughout the day, digestion and gut health, hydration, mineral balancing, and happiness, gratitude, play, laughter is the eighth element of the holistic method. Now, metabolism testing is really important to know where are you now and get retested every 2 to 3 months. You may have a slower metabolism than your age, gender, weight, and age. And so we want to identify where are you now in a resting metabolic rate? What can you do to improve how many calories you burn at rest, your thermic effect of food, and then TDEEs, kind of movement throughout the day, fidgeting, and then your exercise, how many calories you're burning in your workout. So then we can figure out what does your exercise program look like? Do I need to focus on more HIIT training, sprint training? Do I need more strength training, heavy weights? Where am I? Do I need to start with 10 to 12 reps and then work towards 5 reps and build up that foundation first? Not everyone should start lifting heavy if you haven't even built that foundation. It's like building the roof of your house when you just have the frame up. You need to build stability, build the foundation up, then work towards heavy strength training and have that deload week every month. Fueling. How should we fuel? Getting your glucose is used when you're doing sprint interval training, so you need the muscle glycogens topped off. I'm not a big fan of breaking down my protein to create gluconeogenesis, because I'm already losing that protein, which we're getting to anabolic resistance. So we want to look at nutrition, fueling properly, and your exercise program. As a holistic method coach, I did check holistic lifestyle coaching 2013, I think it was. I took that course a long time ago. But stress management, mindset, lifestyle, sleep hygiene routine, environmental toxins, emotional well-being, getting rid of those energy robbers in your life that could be people, and toxic energy need to be cleaned up too, as well as your environment and your household and all that. Now, as a nutritional therapy practitioner, I used to do the functional evaluation. That's hands-on, palpating different trigger points and figure out what supplements would improve that area. As your small intestine and liver detox, your adrenal pathway, we do different tests. So that's actually, I miss doing that hands-on training. It was so fascinating to listen to your body and get the feedback from your body. That's what I do is nutritional therapy. The FDN practitioner, as I said, we look at more the functional lab testing, health investigation work, looking at the root causes, not just treating the symptoms. As I did a video on, oh, my T3 is low, I'm just going to take T3. I've done this twice, taken thyroid, and it didn't restore my levels to optimal of T3, but it's because we have to look at the whole person, right? You have to work on what's causing that thyroid to be low. So it's a holistic approach. You can't just take a medication or supplement and expect to get optimal, long-lasting results. So we want to look at, again, I call the holistic method, looking at the whole picture. Now, let's get into the anabolic resistance. So I wanted to touch on anabolic resistance. What happens, men and women, as we get older? Why do our metabolism slow down? So I've gone over this a few times, but anabolic resistance blog, and I did a video. But why does our metabolism slow down as we age? Less muscle, anabolic is breakdown, or catabolics break down, anabolics build up. Anabolic resistance is the ability of the body to build muscle in response to stimuli, dietary protein, and resistant exercise as we age. This is as we age for men and women, and especially women, as our estrogen, progesterone gets lower in perimenopause, we have to work harder to fight that loss of muscle. So it is why we need to prioritize protein each meal and after our workouts, for more women than men, and taking creatine supplementation. I do a scoop of Kion in my water every day, 5 grams, and really working on hitting that protein goal. But remember, I keep trying to say, not all protein is equal. So listen to my other videos on that, because we need the right combination of essential amino acids with the right leucine threshold. Leucine is another amino acid that has to get certain amounts, 2.7 to 3 grams, I heard. And if we don't have all those essential amino acids working together in the right dose, we do not stimulate muscle protein synthesis. So anabolic resistance refers to the reduced ability of the body to efficiently stimulate MPS in response to dietary protein intake. As we age, the muscle requires a higher dose of protein to trigger the same level of muscle building response that younger individuals experience lower protein. So 10, 20 years ago, I could have 20 grams of protein and get the right amino acids to stimulate MPS. Now at age 52, I need to get double or more, so 40 to 50 grams. We need to individualize our program and look at where you are in your years of hormone changes. What are your functional labs? What's your insulin, inflammation? We want to look at your exercise program and nutrition. So, why it matters for those that are active. We want to get the right muscle stimulus. So, we want to look at why it matters, increased protein needs. Aging athletes, I like to call us, aging athletes need more protein per meal to overcome the anabolic resistance to effectively stimulate muscle growth and repair. Without this protein intake, maintaining or building muscle becomes more challenging. Due to anabolic resistance, spreading protein throughout the day, say 20, 40 grams with enough leucine, which is why you can listen to my previous episodes, plant-based protein versus animal-based protein. You can do plant-based protein, but it's very complicated to hit that right number without getting way too many calories. So we want to ensure that the muscle protein synthesis, MPS, is regularly triggered throughout the day to help maintain muscle mass and strength. You hear the word a lot from Dr. Gabrielle Lyon about sarcopenia. So anabolic resistance accelerates muscle loss, which is what sarcopenia is as we age. To avoid losing muscle as we age, we need to prioritize protein to help slow this process down, preserve functional strength, mobility, and overall athletic performance. As we age, we face slower recovery times, and also look at your genetic reports as the DNA company, or I'm using Wild Health Precision Medicine's clarity reports with people. If you want to get one, it's $297. I have to order it directly. So you can ask me if you want a report. I can order it for you. You just have to prepay. Now, your recovery might feel a little differently. So don't blame that, oh, I'm getting older. Just embrace it and change how we do our workout schedule. You might need a hard day and then 2 easy days and then a hard day. Now, the body, we want to figure out how to improve that repair and adapt to the exercise stress. So remember, exercise is a source of stress. That's why we want to make sure we're getting acute doses of stress, not chronic stress. That includes your workouts, because we want to be able to adapt, rebuild, and get stronger from that workout session. And we need to get enough protein to help that recovery and repair and rebuild. So getting high quality protein meals to help recovery and ongoing muscle adaptation to your training is key. So remember, nutrient density and all protein is not equal. So getting 40, 50 grams of protein from your plant-based, not against plant-based, because I do eat vegetables. I'm not strict keto or carnivore. I just like to make sure I'm getting my protein in, and did the research that it's really, really challenging if you're trying to do it with quinoa and black beans and getting this high protein rice, whatever it is. It's complicated and you have to get the right amino. So put it into your Google it or Chat GPT it and see how many calories and protein you're getting with the amino acid profile. Now, we want to look at your metabolic health, of course. So we're looking at functional lab testing. You can get insulin. Your doctor will not do unless you're type 2 diabetes. If you want to prevent type 2 diabetes, go to Ulta Labs, click on this link, Debbie Potts Coaching, and you can use my account and get discount 20% off. So we want to test our markers, and metabolic health is really important. Obviously, to improve age and mitochondria health and insulin resistance, getting more insulin sensitivity, we'll talk about. So with age and anabolic resistance, maintaining lean body mass becomes more difficult. But I would say more of your area of opportunity and your metabolic rate declines if, only if, I believe, only if you don't do something about it. So if you don't want to decrease your metabolic health, if you want to improve your body composition by losing fat, weight, and gaining lean body muscle, you need to stop doing the chronic cardio and perhaps spend a little more time in the gym or your home gym or out in the yard lifting heavy things and really focus on, am I doing the right workout if I want to improve my body composition? Just go to a gym and look at the people without judging. Glance at the people at the cardio machines and then look at the people lifting weights if they're doing them right. People sitting on the machines might be getting some strength, but they're not moving the body in the right movement patterns. So you wanted to look at who's doing a good functional strength training program, doing some body composition recomp workouts, right? So check out who does cardio every day and look at their shape. If you want to change your body shape, it's not going to come from doing cardio. And that's coming from me, who's an endurance athlete and been a personal trainer for, 30 years. So here's practical tips on this blog. Higher leucine threshold, 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to effectively stimulate MPS, but you can't just do leucine by itself. It has to be with all of its other friends, the essential amino acid club. So essential amino acids all need to be together, but the right number, you're looking on the leucine amino acid part of that whole team, is 2.5 to 3 grams. And you want to get, this says 25, 30 grams by a woman. We need to get 40, 50 grams. Sorry. Protein timing, different research, but distribute your protein intake. Some people say evenly across the meals instead of all at once, one meal. And I'm sure there's some debate about that too, but I heard better to have throughout the day than just one meal a day, which I know some people are still doing. But I don't know. For me, I needed to get it stimulated throughout the day, not just OMAD, one meal a day. So again, focus on quality protein. It's really important, not crap, and not trying to get plant-based options only. If you can not be vegan, it's a little challenging, and you might find yourself more that skinny fat body composition, probably because you're not getting the right amino acid profile in lifting weights. Touch my toe. So prioritizing protein, we know that. All right, so weight gain, anabolic resistance. How does it influence weight management, metabolism, mitochondria function, athletic performance? Let's dive into a little bit summary of each. So weight gain, body composition. Anabolic resistance leads to reduced ability to build muscle, shift body comp, and increase fat mass. Metabolism slower, natural slowdown, metabolism with age. Muscle is metabolically active tissue, so losing muscle mass results in fewer calories burned at rest. Well, think about what the solution is. Pretty funny. Lift weights. So decline in metabolic rate can be more challenging to manage weight and maintain healthy body composition if you choose to do nothing about it. Jeez. There's no magic pill that's going to give you what lifting weights does. So that's a challenge why I don't think people do it as much. We do have an increasing popularity of going to the gym and lifting weights, seems to be more of a focus these days, but it doesn't come in a pill. You have to do the work. Deficiency muscle protein synthesis gets challenging. So we want to get that protein exercise stimulus. The stimulus stimulates the muscle, right? So we want to not lose muscle, maintain, but actually want to grow muscle. Mitochondria. Well, how does mitochondria play into this? A lot. And we have, as we age, we hear this decreased mitochondria efficiency. Decline in mitochondria function. What does that do to our metabolism? Well, we know mitochondria comes out, the definition is always the energy powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria play a key role in maintaining metabolic health and your energy levels. But if your mitochondria are impaired, dysfunctional, damaged, that will lead to decreased energy production, increased oxidative stress, increased inflammation. And what does that do? Increase or speed up the aging process. Well, we'll talk about what to do about that. Poor mitochondria function can impair muscle endurance, overall performance, even make anabolic resistance worse, and lose muscle. All right, what happens to athletic performance? Anabolic resistance hinders the body's ability to respond to that strength training program you're doing. It may experience slower gains in strength and power, making it harder to maintain or improve your performance. Decreased recovery. You might have that slower recovery we talked about by having diminished muscle protein synthesis. All right, how is metabolic health? Well, that's connected to a reduction in muscle mass and strength. So your body becomes more susceptible to metabolic issues as insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease. How's that related to your muscle health? Muscle tissue is a key site. Remember, we've talked about those suitcases. The larger suitcase, it's your glucose disposal site. So more glucose you can store in that suitcase. So you want a bigger muscle or larger suitcase. So losing muscle mass reduces your suitcase size. So you only have a little carry-on bag versus your big, huge suitcase. Again, all these factors as we fight anabolic resistance is your choice. If you want to take ownership of your health, what do you do about it? We also know hormones make a difference, especially estrogen we'll talk about. And that's what Dr. Stacy Sims' viewpoint on what we need to do to change as female athletes is different. So anabolic resistance is even amplified more in us females losing estrogen, which can impact our metabolic health, lead to weight gain and altered fat, and increase risk. So again, solutions. What are solutions? Let's talk about that. All right, so let's go here. What are your solutions? Optimize protein, resistance training, mitochondria support as interval training and zone 2 training, adequate recovery, and supplement when needed can support energy production and metabolic health. Hormones, you might want to look at hormone replacement therapy to mitigate some of the metabolic shifts with aging. So you can do that. HRT is a huge conversation, but you can't just take estrogen. You can't take a thyroid pill. You can't just take, I don't know what other pills people take, whatever others. If you think you can just take a supplement or a medication to fix this problem of losing muscle and our metabolism slowing down, you have to actually do work. There's no magic pill. So what can you do? Key points, anabolic resistance. We can look into that. How do we reverse this? Nutrition, exercise, lifestyle habits, the holistic method. Do I need some hormones? Maybe I need some estrogen, progesterone, some DHA. Maybe I need some little T, but I still have to prioritize strength training, the right program for me, and eating protein each meal. And why does estrogen, perimenopause, how does that impact anabolic resistance? And how does loss of estrogen lead to higher risk of muscle loss? How does higher estrogen, lower hormones, contribute to metabolic changes, making it harder to maintain that muscle mass? Well, we'll talk about that. All right, so high protein, I like Dr. Gabrielle's range of 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. So if you want to weigh 150 pounds, if you're comfortable set point weight, that you feel good in your body, that's protein you want per day, 150 grams. At least 100 grams for everybody is suggested. And then the nutrition, especially for women, aim for 40, 60 grams after your workout. So I just ate some protein for my first meal. I'm trying to get rid of calling it breakfast, lunch, dinner, because people think breakfast should be oatmeal, cereal, bread, crappy stuff that has no nutritional value. Really? Sorry, it doesn't. And have a protein instead. So I had some sausages and trying to cycle in eggs in and out because they were making me sick. So I think I'm I need to limit my egg intake, but I really would take essential amino acids here, even if you can do the powder Body Life. Body Health has their perfect aminos, or Kion has essential aminos. I need to be careful of stevia. So I've been taking the tablets. Resistance training and protein timing to get muscle protein synthesis. All right. So women, let's touch on that. I mentioned, why does estrogen have such an impact? Men, you should listen to this too. Estrogen's role in muscle health. Estrogen is crucial for maintaining muscle mass, strength, and function. It supports muscle protein synthesis, reduces inflammation, it aids in muscle recovery. So as estrogen levels decline during perimenopause, these beneficial effects diminish, leading to increased anabolic resistance. Reduced muscle protein synthesis due to lower estrogens as they blunt the body's response to dietary protein resistance exercise, making it harder to build and maintain muscle. So this results in a faster rate for females with lower estrogen having sarcopenia, muscle loss, and contributes to changes in the body comp, which would result in increased fat mass. And then estrogen has an anti-inflammatory properties that aid in muscle repair. So when we have lower estrogens, our recovery from workouts becomes slower, increasing the risk of injury and furthering contributing to muscle loss. So this is why I always ask, why? Why do we have problems with lower estrogen? What is estrogen? Do you even know all this that estrogen did before all this came to be a hot topic in our podcast world? No. Now, progesterone does have a catabolic effect. So progesterone has catabolic, means breaking down of muscle tissue, and that's increased in your late luteal phase. While progesterone levels decline with age, imbalance of estrogen progesterone during perimenopause can lead to muscle loss and increased anabolic resistance. Progesterone influences your sleep and your stress management. So we might find as your perimenopausal poor sleep, heightened stress, because we don't have enough progesterone to help keep us mellow. And listen to my podcast I did with Karen Martell on the role of estrogen progesterone. And then testosterone. Well, we know testosterone impacts our muscle, but women have lower levels of testosterone than men, but they still play a big role in our muscle mass and strength. So our levels decline, reducing capacity for muscle protein synthesis and increasing anabolic resistance. I did have a prescription for testosterone cream last year, and I probably needed to take it longer, but I didn't get a renewal of the prescription from the doctor I saw. So you have to, again, combine it with everything else. It just doesn't, it's not a Band-Aid for everything, right? Taking estrogen is not going to fix everything. You still have to do the rest of the work yourself. Low androgens contribute to reduced strength, power, muscle building. All right. So increased muscle breakdown. We've got that. Slower metabolism, fat gain, altered fat distribution, decreased insulin sensitivity. All these things can happen with our changes in our hormones. So don't focus on the negative, focus on what you control and what you can do. All right. So we can improve higher protein intake, targeted strength training, hormone replacement therapy, optimize recovery, and improved mitochondrial health. Now, what can you do? Dr. Gabrielle Lyon talks about the 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal weight, protein timing. You can read all about that, the importance of strength training and metabolic health for insulin sensitivity, because muscle mass plays a crucial role in regulating blood sugar levels, improving insulin sensitivity, and reducing visceral fat. Now, hormone support. Talk to Karen Martell. She has a great cream, and looking at hormone replacement. Now, amino acids, creatine are always suggested as well. And I take Kion for my creatine, and amino acids I get from Kion or I get from Perfect Aminos. Adding in functional movement and mobility and mindset. So really look at that. There's more information on what creatine does for muscle health and brain health. All right, before we go, I want to go into Dr. Lyon has her protocol. You can go get this book, talks about the amino acids and getting good free information on the amino acids in your protein. And then she has great resources there. And then we've got some blogs to read why women need more strength and less cardio training. So just kind of makes sense what we just went over. Maybe if you're training for a race, you still need that endurance training if you're doing a long distance event. But if you're just training for body composition, you don't need to spend hours on cardio machines or doing endurance. Women are already built for endurance, is Dr. Stacy Sims' point in this blog. 20% of women engage in resistance training 2 more times a week. But women lift weights we got to do more of. So talk about our need to improve power, type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers. We want to get that increase in type 2 muscle fibers. And that is why we need to do a little more power and change how we train as our hormones change for women. There's also another article she has on why women need to prioritize protein. So you can check that out, put the link in the show notes. She talks examples of what foods that are plant-based, but it has to get the right amino acid profile. Not everyone can do dairy, and we shouldn't be doing tuna all the time because it's high mercury, so you have to make sure you get good tuna. And nuts and seeds, if you have gut issues, isn't great for a lot of people. So it depends what protein is best for you. Okay. And then the other article I found was a great summary of Karina Lee on Substack on what you need to know, female specific exercise and nutrition based on the Huberman episode. So basically polarized training, high intensity work, strength training, heavy weights. She just had a good summary. Women when you're 20 to 40s, women 50s. So check all that out. Not fasted, 12-hour fast should be normal. Getting that protein, a little bit of calories beforehand and after, refuel after your workouts, nutrition focus, and supplements as creatine, vitamin D, essential fatty acids. So this was a great summary she did. This gal, I really liked it. Cold exposure after exercise you don't want to do. You can do sauna and quality of sleep. Talking about tracking your cycle. I use Flow, avoid caffeine on empty stomach. And so anyways, that was a good summary page. So let me know what questions you have. I think looking at what we do, metabolism testing is really helpful. Looking at getting your creatine for muscle and brain health. And I can do 5 grams a day of creatine, use my code, Coach Debbie Potts is what I've been making my codes to make it simple. But how creatine will help with ATP production. And when you do sprint interval training, it's using creatine phosphate energy. So if you're doing more sprint interval training as we're recommended 2-3 times a week, make sure you're supplementing with creatine to fuel that cell hydration volume, mitochondrial support, IGF. So let me know what questions you have. Thanks for listening to my rabbit hole on anabolic resistance.